Welcome to Create Your Own Economy podcast, the weekly podcast that equips you with the know-hows, the strategies, tools, and resources to create your own economy, grow your business, and live the life you desire. If you have not done so, hit the subscribe button so you'll never miss an episode. Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode. I'm your host, Bunmi Ajibade, and today I have a power couple, Melanie and Gilbert Mulamba. Melanie has been my sister for a very long time, a sister from another mother. I love her and her siblings. And I'm really very excited to have her and her husband to share her journey into entrepreneurship with us and with her husband. And, this is the first time I'm having a couple share with us how they work together and how it really works. So welcome to the podcast, Create Your Own Economy. We're happy to have you.
Thank you very much.
So let's just know a little bit about them, and I will read about Melanie. And she is a broker associate with EXP Realty LLC, and she brings extensive knowledge of the DFW, that's Dallas-Fort Worth real estate market area, and trends. She is a respected realtor with 20 years of experience, and she has a unique approach to customer service that makes her stand out for the extra services and care she has for her clients. And since 2015, the Mel House team has consistently, and every time I see her on the list, I'm always so proud. She has consistently been named among the top agents in DFW by the prestigious D magazine and top 500 producers in the northern market of DFW by Top Producers magazine. Melanie served as vice chair of the Global Business Council Advisory Board of the Metro Tex Association of Realtors for 2017. That woman is very smart. I know that. And her leadership skills and knowledge have led her to successfully train realtors by teaching hard classes to DFW area realtors. Also very smart. And very smart also is Gilbert, her husband, who is also a realtor with EX Realty and part of the Mel House International team. He holds a master's degree in biology. Did I tell you I also read biology too? I forgot to tell you. I read microbiology too in college.
Right.
He holds a master's degree in biology from West Chester University and has had a successful career as a scientist in the biopharmaceutical research arena for 20 years. Gilbert spent 7 years as a researcher and at Harvard Medical School and actively worked with most human viruses such as HIV and many more. So be thinking, he was a researcher and now he is into real estate. So both Melanie and Gilbert were members of the leadership team with Keller Williams board for several years. Now, Gilbert had a big real estate career jump, and that happened in 2014. Gilbert and Melanie both advise investors in the DFW market. And I'm still working on selling my house. So, Melanie, we're still going to do it. We'll make it happen.
Good. Well, good. And then
We'll make it happen. The boys are working on me. So both of them, they have, one vision, and their vision is to be a global team reaching out beyond the frontiers of the USA to make the buying and selling of homes a smooth process. They strive to be the real estate company of choice for a new generation of professionals. On this platform, we always talk about what is your unique value proposition. There are so many real estate agents everywhere. Why are you different from everybody? So from their bio, you will see why they are successful. Now, my question in my head is, Gilbert, over 20 years in research, pharmaceutical, why did you make that U-turn from that research job in the pharmaceutical industry, medical, pharmaceutical, to real estate? Why the jump? What made you, why that decision?
Well, thank you for the opportunity. That's a decision. It wasn't easy. Yes, I have 20 years of experience in my career, but I have to say this. I really got at some point on a crossroad. And when you get to a crossroad, you have to think, you have to pray, you have to seek for counsel, you have to ask your family members, friends, relatives, you have to look. I mean, it's a difficult place to be. Mm-hmm. And if that crossroad is a focal point for roads that go 4 different ways, it's even more complicated. Mm. But I got myself into a crossroad, and the decision was not easy. Mm. That's my starting answer. Mm. We got married in 2010, and I was still living at the time in North Carolina, working as a scientist, and Melanie was here. So we were kind of thinking, okay, should she come to my area in North Carolina, or should I come here? Let's see how things go. So I started looking for employment here. And that the region, the DFW or the Texas region, is not the biotechnology region in the country. Mm-hmm. This is divided in some region. All the research and biotech is either in San Diego, California, in Maryland, or North Carolina, or, but not in Texas. So I could not find employment for a while. So I kept commuting. And at the same time, I did not want to uproot her from the clientele base that she had already established here.
Yes.
Yeah. So we had to think. I say, well, at some point, I'm like, okay, let me just come and continue looking for employment. But for 2 years, I could not still find an employment. Yes. And I started helping her around, the office, and you can take it from here.
Well, thank you again for the opportunity. But Gilbert, being as smart as he is,
yes, he is.
He does have a gift of servant spirit, humble man. So my career did not threaten him. So he will come to the office, he will set my computer there, do you want coffee? And then he will start working. The next thing I see, he was filling out the contracts, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm a broker, you will get me in trouble. Why don't you go get your license? At the beginning, I didn't want him to join me because I was like, I need a salary, a paycheck, healthcare, all the benefit that somebody that works in a company will have. Because as real estate agent, you're self-employed, you don't have benefit. So that's how we started. So I asked him to go get his license. I really made him get a license. So I'm a good broker.
So I got my license and I never looked back. And the other crossroad was also that working as a scientist, every year I was working with all these live viruses, the influenza, you name it, all kind of dangerous things, foods, handling the virus by itself, growing it up, doing all kind of experiment with it. And at the end of each year, our company had to test us for, stuff like HIV. So waiting for those results every year was stressful. It's like, why? And I was the only one actually in the company working with live viruses.
Wow.
So it was a lot of stress.
And I'm sure during COVID, your mind will be like, oh, yes. Thank you, Lord. You see?
Yes.
Actually, during COVID, his mind was like, should I go back in the research? I know these things. I can handle it. We can do some research.
Live viruses. We do not do live viruses.
Yes, live viruses. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you. I think it's really very important for couples to hear this story. There are sometimes, you have to make sacrifices for the union to work. Instead of complaining, you were looking for somebody that will just have a job. Let me have insurance. But again, he is happy because now I'm sure during COVID, you are then happy that, you know what, I love having you around, even if you don't have insurance, so crossroad happens, and I'm happy that you chose to be there. And I'm also, Melanie, you are happy that you have him, the two of you working together. So thank you for sharing. I really appreciate that. So Melanie, and I know you, we grew up coming from the best continent in the whole world. Here we came, so we were working corporate jobs and all that. So why did you then decide to create your own economy that you didn't want? And I remember one particular incident that you had some problem with some about integrity with the company, that your values were different from their values. And so why did you decide to create your own economy?
Well, it's not like I just sit and say, let me decide and start my own economy. I think Gilbert mentioned the crossroad. I find myself in my own crossroad. I was working, like you said, for a company that was literally asking us to lie to the client, the consumer, and make them sign the contract, and knowing very well that they will be paying more. Mm-hmm. And they were listening to my conversation. They gave me a warning. They said, this is your last chance. And during that conversation, I got on the phone, and it was an elderly woman, and my heart could not. I just could not. I told her, it's not a good plan for you. You don't need to get it. I could hear, the click whip on the, behind my ears, but at that point, I didn't care. So eventually I was let go. And in that crossroad, during that time, I was taking classes to become a realtor. But even before I get to that, just to see how God ordained our steps, yes, is that I was thinking of buying a house. And then I met a lady, and I asked her if she could refer me the person that helped her buy her home. And she gave me the number. I called that lady. It was a Sunday. I remember very well. It was a Sunday afternoon. And she picked up the phone, which I was surprised because I was waiting for the voice message to come. Then I can leave my message. And she said, oh, yeah, you can come to my office. It's Sunday, 4:00. Yeah, come to my office. So I went to the office and I got there and I told her what I wanted to do, my vision. And she looked at me. She was a Chinese lady, very petite, but very commanding. She's like, no, I'm not going to help you. You will help yourself find a house. I'm looking at her. I was like, what's wrong with this lady? She stepped out of the office. She comes back with a bunch of paper and she's like, sign here, sign here, sign here. I'm signing. I'm like, God, what am I signing?
Signing.
Yeah, I see you signing. She said, congratulations. You are now my agent. Now you just have to go to the step of getting the license so you can become an agent and help yourself buy a home. So I go home. I'm like, this lady's crazy. I don't even know what's a realtor, what are entitled. But you know, Jane, her name was Jane. Jane will call me every 2 weeks. So I started taking the classes, not because I liked the classes, but I took the classes because Jane will call me. I had to have something to tell Jane. So I get my license. I got they let me go from that company. So I was like, okay, real estate entitles living off of commission. I don't have a job. I'm living off an employment and a little food stamp and whatever. So I can really do this.
Yes.
And in that moment, as a single mom with 4 kids, I decided to give it my all. So that's the journey that led me to the real estate business.
Yes, give it all. That crossroad. And when I remember that's your story of integrity, I tell that story a lot.
Thank you.
Because every time we talk about values, when I'm a trainer. So when I'm training and I will talk about values, I use your story a lot when we're talking about values. And also as a business coach, I always talk about values because every business, you need to have values for your business, the values that will drive your business. And when somebody, gives you a business that does not align with your value, you need to know it and say, you know what? No, you need to say no. And for you with 4 kids, and that time when we came, you know how hard it was when we came, and for you to have said no when you know you have those little kids. I mean, that's one of the reasons I love you so much, because that value is just amazing. It's amazing. That crossroad, but God appeared even at that crossroad. Yes. At that crossroad.
Yes.
So now you have even answered my next one. Why real estate? It was like God chose that real estate for you. People on this, my listeners, you all know that I love God. So, and Melanie is my sister. We love the Lord. So her saying that, I know it was ordained of God, So now, when you look at the corporate jobs that you had, and even Gilbert too, when you look at when you were on your job, what were some of the skill set that you had on the jobs that you did that became helpful now that you are on your own, that you have your own business? What are some of the skills that were carried over that are helping you now?
Thank you for the question. As a scientist, one of the tools that we use really is being analytical, being organized, strategize in advance when you're about to embark in a project. Meaning, you look at the resources, you look at what you need to do and what the outcome should be, and then structurize and having systems in place. So before even I got my license, I was looking at her and saying, but you're wasting time here. You're wasting too much time on this. This should not be done. So I kind of, little by little, without pushing too much, but, kind of either restructure or, rearrange things that she was already doing, but in a different order. So those are the skill sets, that really, I brought in the business, and I plugged into, her strength and yeah.
One thing, God say, I'll send you a helper. Gilbert is truly my helper. Everything you heard, strategize, organize, that was not me.
That was totally foreign to you.
In the morning, I had my folder. Like back home, I had my folders, and that's where I put all the paperwork, and I will be dragging, a bag with all my folders. So I didn't even worry about system, Excel, spreadsheet, client, CRM, and things like that. That was not my thing. So when God brought him in my life and in the business, just things took a turn, for the best, because with his research, he look at the numbers and the production. I mean, today, if you ask me what our production, no idea. But if you ask him, he will tell you how many units we sold, our production. He will say, by next year, we need to do this. We need to market this. So, we really piggyback on each other's strength and weakness. So, this has just been an amazing journey for us.
Yeah, this is amazing, because the two of you working together, it just helps. I teach personality. Immediately when he started talking, I already know, because I teach DISC. So I'm already looking. I'm like, oh, yep. He's C. His C is like and that's how it is, complementing each other. Because for me, just like you, Melanie, I have my bag, I have my everything. But like my husband, if I tell my husband, just ask a question before I get back, he has an Excel spreadsheet. He has pros and cons. He has everything. I'm like, I just asked you a question. I just need an answer. He said, yes, I'm giving you an answer. But each answer has the pros, the cons. So, we need each other in our lives. So from his job, everything, every business has to have a system. There has to have a system. So I'm sure as a scientist, he can't just bring stuff out of his heart like we do. Everything has to have a system, a process has to be in place. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you. And I know there are pressures. Melanie, when you started living on there's no salary, right? You get, you sell a house, they give, you get paid, whatever. And there's pressure of all the bills. So how do you overcome that pressure? Because the question people ask me is, I have a client right now, and the pressure, my client, she just hired me. And for over 30-something years, she has been an entrepreneur. And the pressure is so much that she has to go and take a part-time job to pay her bills. and she just hired me. And so that is the pressure that people are having. So how do you overcome that pressure of not running back to go take a part-time job? How did you overcome that? Even as a new entrepreneur, that pressure, you get to pay the bills, the inconsistent paycheck that you get. How did you overcome that?
Well, the pressure is real. When you're self-employed, it's real, it's reality. But do not run away from that pressure, because that's what will make you. So my biggest pressure was when I started the real estate, my first sale came 6 months after I got my license. So it was so hard that I went to my broker, Jane, at that time, Jane Lynn, and I told her, is that okay if I clean the office, the windows and everything, so she can pay me? And she agreed. So I will stay in the office and act as if I'm working, wait until all the agents are out, and then I clean the offices and the restroom, get paid a little bit. But I stayed focused. So I surrounded myself with friends. One of them, Buki, she would always say, I believe in you. You got to do this. I believe in you. You got to do this. But I'll tell you something, that happened. The pressure was so hard that I decided to go find a job. Anyway, I say, it's too much. The kids are looking at me. I don't have any sale. I'm going to go get a job. I went in, I took the application, and I started filling the application. And I heard a clear voice. Again, I know your audience, some of them may not be, Christian. I'm not imposing my faith to them. I'm just telling my journey. So as I was filling the application, I heard this small but straight, clear voice. So you don't trust me? I took the application, I dropped the pen, and I ran in the car, and I was screaming like a crazy woman. I said, what do you want to do? I cried, and of course I didn't get a response. I calmed down, but that was the last time I went to look for a job. Consistency, trusting God, and surround yourself with people that believe
positive people.
Because you living, if you're thinking of leaving, just know that you're living at the time where the seed that you have sown is about to start
to germinate. Wow. Just keep focused.
Yes.
Keep focused. If you are sure that what you are embarking upon is what your purpose is, I always say on this platform, the first thing you need to do is identify that what you want to do aligns with the purpose for your life. If it aligns with the purpose for your life, stay the course. Don't jump from one to another to another. So what Melanie is saying is focus. Surround yourself with people that believe in you, with positive people. The naysayers will be there, because if you go to them today for a cup of rice, if you go to them today for $10, if you go to them tomorrow for whatever, they will give you some negative words. So surround yourself with positive people, because that time that is very hard. And I know I have been there. I have been there, right?
Yes.
Because that time that is very hard, that is when that miracle, that is when that seed is about to break out of the ground.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that you should be lazy, not looking for properties or something that you want. No, I'm not saying that. We're not saying that you should sit down And I think, one of the things I'm working on is, what do you do in the waiting? When you are waiting, what do you do? We're not saying you should be lazy. No, we're not saying that. But keep your focus. So in the general, as an entrepreneur, what are some obstacles that entrepreneurs face? And what are the ones that you have faced in your journey as entrepreneurs, and how have you been able to overcome them?
Okay.
Well, the very first one, and actually that also kind of answers the previous question, just to add a little bit to it. The new immigrants, I don't know what your audience consists of, but
everybody.
The new immigrant comparing to the natives of this country don't start on the same footing. People that are born here, had their parent or grandparent, great-grandparent here, they start on a stronger footing because they have the support of the family. Great-grandparents can, legacy, there's, can give them funds to start a business. They have that resource. We, as new immigrants, don't have that. That's the first obstacle. So we can go into a class for entrepreneur and be encouraged by the teacher saying, well, you need to save. For you to start this business, you need to start with 2,500 or 5,000. But a new immigrant will not have that. While a native, someone that's born here, have the resource, they can go to grandma and say, grandma, can I borrow this? Can I? You see, so we don't start on the same footing. That's the first obstacle.
Mm-hmm. And just to add to what Gilbert said and bringing it to the real estate business, I was new in the DFW, relatively new when I became a real estate agent. And then I was, my surrounding, none of everybody that was surrounded with had the money to buy a home at that time. Mm-hmm. So, but, you have to think outside the box. That's when your brain, that's a positive thing. It's not a negative thing, because then your brain starts thinking outside the box. So one day I look at because we lived in a big apartment complex. So I was like, so all these people are my client? My mindset changed. I started doing a first-time home buyer seminar. Wow. To that same apartment complex. I asked the manager if they will allow me to use the guest, the community center, so I can do my first-time home buyers, seminar. As I was doing the seminar, the manager will be there. I used to do it on a Saturday. I realized that everybody in the apartment complex did not have good credit. So therefore, I started putting them into credit repair. So, they work, while that work was being done, the manager needed to purchase a home. Wow. She just came after one of my meetings and said, can you help me, buy me? Wow. That's how. You see, when you start doing the step, when you start thinking outside the box.
Outside the box.
Even the accent, everybody can hear my accent is even stronger than Gilbert. Even the accent. You can think it's a negative, but it's a plus, because that's how you need it. That's how people remember you. So the manager bought a house with us, and that was the beginning of a journey. And then after that, my daughter connected me with one of the parents that live in the same apartment complex. Miss Kim, she became my friend down the line. She purchased a house, and then became the series of, activities until now.
Look at that. And what Gilbert said is so true, about people coming in And it's like, I'm just coming in. I don't even know anything. But the other thing is, there are people also born here who also don't have the luxury of having people that will give them money, that will loan them money to start a business. But one thing also that I know is that there are businesses that people can start with zero money.
Yes.
I mean, so I think I have I have some episodes where I talked about businesses that people can have with zero money, different things. Mm-hmm. So there are obstacles, but let me tell you, when you think outside the box, even if it is not real estate, whatever it is, you have to think outside the box. And I love this quote that says, you cannot solve a problem with the same mindset that created it. Yeah. If you want to solve the problem, you have to think outside the box. Yeah. No matter the industry you are in, you have to think outside the box. Now, so many people are thinking, I have to wait for the right time to start my business. Melanie, when is the right time to start a business? Tell me, when is the right time?
It's now.
Today. Now.
Yes, it's now. Because if you wait for everything to fall in place, you're missing out on the season. I'll give an example. God speaks to you to be an agent in 2019. You say, no, I'm going to wait until 2022, 23, because that's when I'll graduate, that's when and then the real estate market boom in 2020, everybody reaped the benefit. Uh-huh. And 2023, like, okay, now I'm ready. Well, the season is different. The market is kind of slowing down. Uh-huh. You missed that curve. But even if you've missed that curve, it's still now.
It's still now. Mm-hmm. Because it will pick up.
if it keep coming, that means it's in you. It's now.
It's now. It's now. So, Gilbert.
Yes.
What are some challenges of working with Melanie, your wife? What are some challenges of working together? Tell me. Spill the beans. Tell me. Because people talk about, I don't want to work with what are some challenges? I know there are pros and cons of couples working together. So what are some, because, some people are missing out on the blessings that you have working together, right? Some people are missing out because they're only seeing the cons. They're not seeing the pros. Some people are seeing the pros. They're not seeing the cons. What are the challenges? And how do you overcome them so that you can really see the blessings of working together?
Interesting question. And actually, my answer, you'll even be surprised from which angles I'm going to come from.
Oh, okay, go on.
One of the challenges is that real estate never stops. Work never stops. So sometimes I have to look at the clock and say, hey, look, it's almost midnight. Can we stop talking about the next contract? Let's talk about politics or a movie or whatever. So, the problem is stopping, when to stop work.
When to stop.
So that we have to be disciplined about that.
Yes.
One thing that I would say, I think a good ingredient to be able to work together as we do is, first, we have a friendship relationship. So that helps us, really work as, not only partners or husband and wife, but also as friends. So we respect each other, we listen to each other, and one big advantage is we always together, we're growing as people, as friends, as husband and wife together. Let me we can start our day in the morning, and if we're still showing houses at 8 p.m., well, we're still together. And before we get home, we can stop at the restaurant and eat, chat a little bit, yeah. But if it was the other way around, I think we would have had, quite some struggles.
Mm-hmm.
I would have requested my wife to be at home at 6 p.m. or at 8
I'm cooking for you as an African man. Where's my dinner? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Oh, I ate rice yesterday. I want fufu tonight.
I want fufu today, and I want to eat akara tomorrow morning.
Exactly, akara tomorrow morning. Understanding, right? Understanding each other. Yeah, because there is friendship before business.
There's friendship, and we're all working towards one goal.
Yes.
This is our family. This is our business. Mm-hmm. We have that partnership with one goal. We're looking in the same direction. Mm-hmm. So whatever my husband does, even if I don't agree with it, I don't have any doubt that it's good for our family and our business. There's this trust, and there's the respect, because sometimes, especially we women, sometimes we forget our places. I don't ever take it for granted, because I'm the broker. I started this business, and then it's like, no, he's not working for me. We are all working together. I respect his input. Yes. I don't agree with it all the time, but later on I can see the wisdom, and he does the same. And, the strength that my husband has is that he has a servant spirit. And, wants me to shine. I remember when he joined the business, he kept saying, I want you to shine. So most of the time, he doesn't even appear in the magazine. He doesn't even want to be up front, but he's the one that prepares the meetings. He's the one that does everything so that I can shine. But when I shine, I remember him. I have to make sure that if I shine, it's because of this young man and his gifting and his support and everything. So we both shine.
Yes.
That light is brighter in our home.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's really.
So the other thing, do you find time alone separately to go do your thing separately? Separately, like I know, Melanie, you have your sisters and all that. Do you do something separately that you are not together all the time?
Yes, most of the time we're together. But we enjoy each other's company. That's I put it that way. But I take time to go visit my sister, do my nails, do my hair. Go out, meet my grandkids.
Yeah. One thing that I learned, I did not know, because people are watching us, our children are watching us, our friends are watching us. We have friends that are not even here, in other states, but they're watching us from a distance. And when they get into, their life challenges, when we talk with them, then that's when I hear them saying, we're watching you, and you are an inspiration, for us. The way you conduct yourself with your wife, the way we see you, and we don't know what kind of impact, it has on people, but we hear, we hear that.
That's good. That's good. That's good. So I really appreciate you. Melanie, you owe me an invite to come to the house so that you can cook for me.
Oh, I will.
So you owe me one. I'm inviting myself.
More than welcome. I don't cook as well as you, because I know every time we had an activity, you were the one that would bring the big
and I still cook up to, yesterday was my birthday and I cooked.
Oh, birthday!
And I cooked and cooked. You can't believe.
So,
So I really appreciate both of you. I appreciate your honesty. You know how much I love you, Melanie. And if just share one wisdom as we round up, my tribe, the people that always watch and listen to my podcast, just share one wisdom. These are people that want to create their own business. They want to scale their own business. They want to be successful in their own business. Please give them one word of wisdom, each of you.
One word of wisdom. I will start. Where we live in a society where everything looks like it's instant. You open a page and you have 3,000, 5,000, million followers, you're making money right away. And people go into business thinking that that's how it should be. But really, a true business with good foundation, you ask any businessman, you have to lay the foundation. You have to learn. You have to have a season of learning and growing. That growing, within the time that you're learning, don't despise it. Yeah, don't despise the slow beginning. Don't despise the time of learning. But use that time to lay the strong foundation. I've seen people that started the business, they go into selling millions in the first year, and then 2 years down the line, they're not there. Because when the difficult moment came, the prideful spirit that it was embedded in them from that instant success could not sustain the lowest season that was needed for them to learn and to lay foundation and roots in order for them to continue with the business. So be patient. In this world of instant, patience is still the key to building a strong and successful business.
Wow, thank you.
And I can add to that, each business is different, but I think the principles are still the same. You have to focus on the people that you serve. You have to make sure that you build relationships. Building relationships, connecting with the clients, the people on a personal level is key. I can just give the example of real estate. Our vision really is not to sell property or help someone. No, behind all of that, our goal is to help people create a legacy for themselves. The new immigrant or the people that we serve, for them to empower them so that they can create a legacy for themselves.
Yes.
And build wealth. We teach you how to build wealth because somebody that bought 5 years ago, if they sell the property today, they have equity for them.
Equity, yes.
That's so to encourage them to buy another house or invest. Put that money out so that's really what we focusing on the people.
Yes, focus on the people and learn. When you are building a business, it is not a quick microwave. Just learn and build relationships. So I really appreciate both of you today. Thank you for sharing with my tribe. Thank you all for listening to us today. If you are thinking of starting your business, if you really don't know whether you are ready, I invite you to go on my website, claralgr.com, and check the checklist. Look at the 10 points and take the 10 points to see if you are ready. And if you have any question, you can reach out and take the free discovery call with me, speak with me, and let me help you to see if you are ready. And I will see you on the next podcast. Thank you, and I will see you again soon. I hope you enjoyed this episode. The best gift you can give me is by sharing this podcast with your friends, your family, and reviewing it, which will help this podcast to grow organically. If you want to create your own economy and live the life that you deserve, join my next workshop or schedule time with me. My purpose may as well be to help you on your journey. Visit clarogr.com/workshop. See you again next week.